Chapter 14. On the flight home, 20,000 feet above clouds that were 10,000 feet above the ground, Gus said, I used to think it would be fun to live on a cloud. Yeah, I said, like it would be like one of those inflatable moonwalk machines, except for always. But then in middle school science, Mr. Martinez asked who among us had ever fantasized about living in the clouds, and everyone raised their hand. Then Mr. Martinez told us that up in the clouds the wind blew 150 miles an hour and the temperature was 30 below zero, and there was no oxygen and we'd all die within seconds. Sounds like a nice guy. He specialized in the murder of dreams, Hazel Grace. Let me tell you, you think volcanoes are awesome? Tell that to the 10,000 screaming corpses at Pompeii. You still secretly believe that there is an element of magic to this world? It's all just soulless molecules bouncing against each other randomly. Do you worry about who will take care of you if your parents die? As well you should, because they will be warm food in the fullness of time. Ignorance is bliss, I said. A flight attendant walked through the aisle with a beverage cart, half whispering, "Drinks, drinks, drinks, drinks." Gus leaned over me, raising his hand. "Could we have some champagne, please?" "You're 21?" she asked dubiously. I conspicuously rearranged the nubbins in my nose. The stewardess smiled, then glanced down at my sleeping mother. "She won't mind?" she asked of Mom. "Nah," I said. So she poured champagne into two plastic cups. Cancer perks. Gus and I toasted. "To you." He said, "To you," I said, touching my cup to his. We sipped. Dimmer stars than we'd had at Orange, but still good enough to drink. You know, Gus said to me, everything Van Houten said was true. Maybe, but he didn't have to be such a douchey about it. I can't believe it. I can't believe he imagined a future for Sisyphus the hamster, but not for Anna's mom. Augustus shrugged. He seemed to zone out all of a sudden. "Okay?" I asked. He shook his head microscopically. "Hurts," he said. "Chest?" He nodded, fist clenched. Later, he would describe it as a one-legged fat man wearing a stiletto heel standing on the middle of his chest. He returned my seatback tray to its upright and locked position and bent forward to dig pills out of his backpack. He swallowed one with champagne. "Okay?" I asked again. Gus sat there, pumping his fist, waiting for the medicine to work, the medicine that did not kill the pain so much as distanced him from it, and from me. It was like it was personal. Gus said quietly, like he was mad at us for some reason. Van Houten, I meant. He drank the rest of his champagne in a quick series of gulps and soon fell asleep. My dad was waiting for us in baggage claim, standing amid all the limo drivers in suits, holding signs printed with the last names of their passengers: Johnson, Barrington, Carmichael. Dad had a sign of his own, "My beautiful family," it read. And then underneath that, "And Gus." I hugged him, and he started crying, of course. As we drove home, Gus and I told Dad stories of Amsterdam. But it wasn't until I was home and hooked up to Philip, watching good old American television with Dad and eating American pizza off napkins on our laps, that I told him about Gus. "Gus had a recurrence," I said. "I know." He said. He scooted over toward me, and then added, "His mom told us before the trip. I'm sorry he kept it from you. I'm sorry, Hazel. I didn't say anything for a long time. The show we were watching was about people who are trying to pick which house they are going to buy. So I read an Imperial Affliction while you guys were gone. That's it. I turned my head up to him. Oh, cool. What you think? It was good. A little over my head. I was a biochemistry major. Remember, not a literature guy. I do wish it had ended. Yeah, I said. Come on, complain. Also, it was a bit hopeless. He said, a bit defeatist. If by defeatist you mean honest, then I agree. I don't think defeatism is honest. Dad answered. I refused to accept it. So everything happens for a reason and we'll all go live in the clouds and play harps and live in mansions? Dad smiled. He put a big arm around me and pulled me to him, kissing the side of my head. I don't know what I believe, Hazel. I thought being an adult meant knowing what you believe, but that has not been my experience. Yeah, I said. Okay. He told me again that he was sorry about Gus, and then we went back to watching the show, and the people picked the house, and Dad still had his arm around me, and I was kind of starting to fall asleep, but I didn't want to go to bed, and then Dad said, you know what I believe? I remember in college I was taking this math class, this really great math class taught by this tiny old woman. She was talking about faster Fourier transforms and she stopped mid-sentence and said, sometimes it seems the universe wants to be noticed. That's what I believe. I believe the universe wants to be noticed. I think the universe is improperly biased toward consciousness. That it reverses intelligence in part because the universe enjoys its elegance being observed. And who am I, living in the middle of history, to tell the universe that all my observation of it is temporary? You're fairly smart, I said after a while. You're fairly good at compliments, he answered.